Here's my review of Companion. I really enjoyed this movie, and I thought that it was a really great horror movie because although it wasn't really super scary at all, it was very creepy and unsettling simply because of like just the whole premise where this guy named Josh basically buys this robot companion girlfriend that doesn't know that she's a robot. And it's just this weird underlying tone of like this of just subservience that just makes you so sick that I loved about it. And it does kind of go how you think it's going to go. Like yes, eventually the robot turns evil and does start like killing people, but there's a lot more to it. And like I said, I think in many ways in many ways this movie is about toxic relationships. And what I liked so much about it is not only having that just talking on such a important issue like that, but it just the way it shows it of just how this guy is just uses her. I mean, she's a robot. That's all she is. He doesn't really care about her. And her slowly over the course of the film, like learning that she's a robot and that she's not real. It's just so sickening, but I loved it. It was great. And this movie is also a heist movie where in this movie, like they're at this weekend getaway at this lake house, but over the course of the film, like we find out like they're plotting to like kill this guy and steal a lot of his money. And like they kind of like justify it's like, oh well, he's a terrible guy. You kind of learn like why like what he does. And it does have this almost like eat the rich kind of vibe. But like I said, I mean, it feels like it is. I mean, although that is the main premise, or not main, like that's the main plot. What makes this movie so interesting is just the dichotomy between, Iris, the robot, and Josh and all the other characters, and especially just her learning more about the world around her. Like, there's this really creepy scene where eventually Iris is able to like break into Josh's phone and see that on this app he has her IQ like just really low, and then she turns it up. Like it's and you know like he only has it that just so he can just easily manipulate her, and it's just this sickening. This whole movie just kind of like it's very funny, but it does have this underlying gross tone, which I like. It fits, and it should be like that for what this movie is. And yeah, I thought it was great, in my opinion. I really loved it. And yes, with a horror slasher movie like this, it does get very bloody and very violent. And it's always a lot of fun when we get to those kills. And one thing that is so interesting about it is how, how this robot is programmed, like she's in many ways, like, because it's not really a human, like, it's very sympathetic character, especially with the circumstances it's under. I mean, it's literally just this slave, really, to Josh. And it's just very fascinating. It really touches on, like, that idea of just how there are some people who don't really care about you and only just only see you as just another object. And like I said, that's why I thought it just made that like it's like a horror movie, but it's not really scary. Like, but like I said, that's what makes it creepy is just this underlying theme. Even though like I said, it's great. And in many ways, I also think that this movie it's about almost breaking free of like in this case of an abusive relationship. And that's what I just found so fascinating about it is even though we know that this is just a robot, we somehow feel sympathetic for it. And I think that's just because of, how human she does act, which is what makes it even creepier. And yeah, like I said, I thought that this was a great movie. I think that has so many themes and layers to it. And of course, on top of that, it is very funny. It is very creepy. Like I said, not so much scary, but it's very gory. And like I said, has this fun heist element to it that just adds all ties in just a neat little bow that I just loved so much. So yeah, I'd say that this is a very good movie. I thought it was a blast. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And I mean, sometimes that's all movies have to be, is just a lot of fun. And that's what this movie was, but I thought there was also just so much more to it, which I also appreciated. And yeah, I really liked it.